It is the year 2025, and there are more ways than ever to make lots of money in GTA Online. You could start right now as a new player and work your way up to $100 million within a matter of just a couple months, but you also have to be very careful because Los Santos takes money away just as easily as it gives. And personally, I've seen several instances of players here who have spent years making a fortune in this game, only to throw it all away in a matter of weeks because they got lazy and started wasting their money on unproductive items. Things like luxury vehicles, liveries, interior decorations, fashion, etc. And in my opinion, every player who wants to build a long-lasting criminal empire in Los Santos must have a personal list of at least 10 highly profitable investments. That way, you can afford to keep spending your money on fun things like vehicles, properties, weapons, and more without ever running the risk of going bankrupt because you know your investments will always have your back. And on that note, here are my top 10 money-making investments in GTA Online that are guaranteed to serve you well for the foreseeable future. And number one, we have the Venerable Nightclub. Now, this is a business that makes insane amounts of passive income in the background while you're engaged in other activities, and you can actually get one of these for as little as $1,080,000 on the Mazebank Foreclosures website. However, I don't recommend the Elysian Island location. Instead, what I'd recommend is just price up a tier and grab the Del Perro or Vespucci Canals Nightclub. These are only going to be slightly more expensive, but they're also much closer to other important hotspots like your agency, the Cluck and Bell Farm Raid, and the Darnell Bros Garment Factory. And so what do you do with a nightclub? Well, first, you meet up with Gay Tony, who sends you on a couple of setup missions for some audio equipment. You can also get to meet your very first DJ, Solomon. Once you complete the initial setup, which takes less than an hour, your nightclub will start generating $50,000 every in-game day or 48 minutes in real time. This is 100% passive income that accumulates in your office wall safe, and you can keep it steady at $50,000 just by maintaining max club popularity, which is super easy with the hourly bouncer missions. Then, if you own a few MC businesses or even a CEO or hangar warehouse, you can smuggle goods from these businesses into your nightclub basement by assigning up to 5 technicians. And the most profitable businesses to link with your nightclub are going to be the Bunker, Crates, the Coca-Cola Lockup, Math Lab, and the Grass Farm. Now, technicians cost anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000, and they'll source goods for you passively. Once your warehouse is full, you can do an easy sell mission for an additional $50,000 to $60,000 per hour on top of your legit DJ income. Number 2 on my list is going to be the agency here, and I think it's one of the more underrated businesses out there. First off, it already comes with everything you need at just over $2 million for the Little Seoul location, and this includes 4 different money-making methods. We have payphone hits, security contracts, the office wall safe, as well as the most amazing Dr. Dre VIP contract. Security contracts pay anywhere from $35,000 to $65,000, or a little bit more per contract depending on the tier, and they only take about 5 minutes or so. Payphone hits pay $45,000, and they have a 10-minute cooldown, and you can request these as well as security contracts from Franklin just by calling them up as a contact on your phone. You don't actually need to be at the agency to start these if you don't want to. And then you have the safe, which accumulates $100 per in-game day for every security contract that you do, going all the way up to a maximum of $20,000 per in-game day if you do 201 security contracts. Once you max out those contract requirements though, the wall safe will be 100% passive from that point on. And then finally, there's the Dr. Dre VIP contract, which gives you $1.1 million for 1.5 to about 2 hours of work if you're a little bit slow. But wait, there's more, because if you invest an extra $720,000, you also get a personal armory on the top floor of your agency, which functions as a Mark II weapons workshop, and more importantly, infinite armor plus gear and ammo. Now, there's also a table loaded up with snacks right next to the armory, so you can grab snacks and purchase all the ammo and armor that you need for a discounted price. I don't really remember the last time I visited an ammunition because of the agency, and that's because I basically have a better version of it right above my office in my agency business. Now, anytime I need to top up on snacks and armor, I just set my spawn location to the agency and load up a new invite-only session. Takes only 10 seconds, and now I'm ready to do anything else that I want, whether it be a contact mission, heist prep, cell mission, whatever. I have it covered. And that's not all, because the agency is also the only way to unlock Imani Tech upgrades for your vehicles. The $800,000 that you spend on the special vehicle workshop is well worth it in my opinion, because missile lock-on jammers as well as remote controlled vehicle options are some of the best anti-griefer tools in the entire game, and we still aren't done because the agency also has its own helicopter, a Super Velito Carbon that's managed by Pegasus. This helicopter service is completely free, and it comes in super handy during the early parts of the game when you don't own an Oppressor or a Sparrow. Then on top of all that, you also have the instant fast travel service with 10 different locations that can take you to frequently visited hotspots on the map in a matter of mere seconds. While grinding, time is money, so I think the fast travel option is one of the best ways to get around the map if you set this building as your spawn point whenever you load into the game. And speaking of spawn points, let's not forget that pretty much every business in this game gives you the option to purchase your own residential quarters, so you can spawn into that business whenever you load into a new session. You can do this with the Motorcycle Clubhouse, Auto Shop, Agency, Bunker, and several other properties in this game. Accommodations can be found in the renovations section of a business, and they generally cost anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000. You don't have to buy these for every single business that you own, but if a particular location is really far away from the others, honestly, you might want to equip it with a personal quarter so that you can instantly spawn in by loading into a new session instead of traveling all the way across the map manually anytime you want to restock or do a sell mission, for example. At number 4, we've got the legendary Kasatka submarine. Now, this is going to be the best way to invest your money in the entire game, in my opinion, for one simple reason. By purchasing this giant decommissioned Russian submarine for $2.2 million, you get to play the Cayo Perico heist. And in this heist, you visit a tropical paradise known as Cayo Perico, home to the criminal mastermind El Rubio, and within 1 hour, you can make over $1 million by stealing diamond-encrusted tequila bottles, ruby necklaces, bearer bonds, gold and diamond panther statues, and various other goodies from the basement of El Rubio's mansion. As your shipmate Pavel will tell you, every single heist makes El Rubio angrier and your bank account a lot richer. There are of course many other heists in this game, but none of them come close to Cayo Perico in terms of payout, except for maybe the Diamond Casino, but that one requires a duo for the finale, while Cayo Perico can be done solo on a 3-hour cooldown. Next up is the Terabyte, which was already really good before, but now with the Agents of Sabotage DLC update, it's even better because you can install special Bureau tech upgrades like a master control terminal, as well as a silent running mode, which keeps you off the radar as long as you're stationary. Now, the Terabyte can be summoned to your location at any time from the service vehicle menu, and it lets you monitor all your businesses from one single screen if you install a simple $1.25 million upgrade. Now, by the way, with the release of the master control terminal for your Terabyte, there's now no reason to buy that master control terminal upgrade for your arcade anymore, because the one in the Terabyte is cheaper and also moves around, unlike your arcade, which is going to be just a stationary building, and that's it. The Terabyte is also extremely resilient to all forms of damage, and it can tank over 30 RPGs or homing missiles, and that's going to make it an excellent free roam machine for when you're dealing with Oppressor Mark II griefers, for example. And you can even install a missile lock-on jammer if you want to make your opponent's job harder, as they'll run out of missiles before you run out of health and blow up. Of course, you can also use the Terabyte to carry your own Oppressor Mark II if you feel like, because it comes with a special vehicle workshop in the back that's custom designed for the infamous flying rocket bike and broomstick. Sure, the Mark II is insanely expensive at $8 million, but it's also going to be one of the best tools for grinding still to this day. If anything, it makes the game too easy and boring because you'll never want to fly anything else. The Oppressor Mark II's small size and nimble handling make it much better than a helicopter because it will fit through most narrow alleyways as well as the tiniest of rooftops, and you can land it anywhere without having to worry about rotor blades smacking into stuff. And when you take off, there's also no delay because you don't have to wait 5 seconds for the engines to spool up. Plus, the missiles are really good at tracking, and it can also keep up really well in a turning fight with almost any aircraft, which is why I'm going to go ahead and proclaim that the Oppressor Mark II is still going to be one of the best investments that you can make in GTA Online, despite its reputation as a griefer's weapon. It's also a grinder's greatest tool. The Garment Factory is going to be up next here, and it's essential if you want to get the Bureau tech upgrades for your Terabyte, but other than that, it's also very useful for money making because you have 4 heists or FIB files that you can do at any time. Each one of these is going to pay $150,000 plus $50,000 extra for completing the bonus objectives, so you get about $200,000 total for around 20 minutes of work. Then you have the weekly priority mission, which can be done once per week for $300,000 plus a $50,000 bonus on top of that, so about $350,000 for a total of about 20 minutes of work for one of these FIB files once again. The regular FIB missions are on a 5-minute cooldown once you complete the finale, and you can also cycle through them as many times as you want to make some easy cash. The best part about these is that you can initiate them from the Darnell Bros app on your phone, so you don't even have to visit your Garment Factory to start these unless you want to access the weapon workshop or collect some cash from your office safe, for example, or grab a new car in the garage or something like that. The Auto Shop is going to be another excellent investment, and I highly suggest grabbing this one early because not only does it pay a ton of money through the little heists and contracts that you do, but you can also unlock every single upgrade for your personal vehicles if you bring them into the Auto Shop to modify them. It is truly your very own LS Customs, and you get a discount on every mod you apply, so if you're a gearhead, you definitely don't want to miss out on this business. In terms of money-making potential, you've got 3 different sources of income. With the Auto Shop, you have client jobs, exotic exports, as well as the contract robberies. Now, client jobs are very simple here. Every hour or so, an NPC is going to leave their car at your auto shop and ask you to apply a few mods. These might include things like performance tunings, bodywork, new paint jobs, etc. And the cost does initially come out of your pocket, but if you deliver the car with the mods they request, you get this cost back along with a profit of $25,000 to $40,000 on top of whatever you spend. It only takes about 5 to 7 minutes to deliver both cars, and you can install an additional lift if you want to work on 2 cars at the same time. Or you can even have your staff deliver them for you, so it's for the most part passive. Then you have Exotic Exports, which is similar to how you deliver cars for Simeon. On the top level of your office, you can see a list of requested vehicles, and that list refreshes every single day. So if you run into one of these cars in the city, they'll be marked with a blue dot on your minimap, and all you have to do is drive that car to the docks for an easy $20,000 in cash. Finally, there's the Auto Shop heists, which are similar to OG heists in that you have a couple of setup missions and a finale where you go and steal the loot, culminating in a giant firefight at the end. Now, most of these Auto Shop heists pay anywhere from $170,000 to about $185,000 depending on the heist, and they take around 25 to 30 minutes. But the best and the highest paying one to farm is the Union Depository contract, and you get $270,000 profit if you do this solo after Sasanta and KDJ take their respective cuts. At number 9, we've got the Bunker, which is one of my favorite sources of passive income, as it's going to keep generating you product in the background as long as you have that supply bar filled up. The Bunker is the only way for you to unlock the unique weapon upgrades through its research function, and these include things like explosive ammo for your heavy sniper Mark II, thermal scopes, FMJ rounds, heavy barrels, etc. You can even split your bunker staff between goods production and research if you want, or you can just assign all of them to manufacturing if you want to make money as fast as possible. Once you have both the staff and equipment upgrades for your bunker, I highly suggest getting a master control terminal for your Terabyte that we talked about earlier, as it's going to make your bunker management so much easier. Apart from the farmhouse or Chumash locations, most bunker locations are going to be pretty far away from your other businesses, and you'll have to resupply quite frequently with a bunker before you get a full bar of stock. So having a master control terminal will allow you to buy supplies within seconds instead of traveling all the way to your bunker and back, which can take several minutes each time you do so. In terms of cell missions, if you don't want to waste time, go for the one that gives you a single cell vehicle. This pays less, but it's also much easier since you don't have to shuffle back and forth as a solo player, and what that means is just resupplying once and selling once you use all your supplies. But if you have something like a Sparrow or an Oppressor Mark II, you could experiment with the higher paying options, but you have to be very careful not to waste time because you'll be operating on margins as thin as 1 or 2 minutes on some sale mission variants. If you fail to deliver a vehicle within the mandated deadline, then you will absolutely lose out on that portion of the stock, so be careful on that. Finally, at number 10, I've got a business here that many of you probably weren't expecting, because the Freak Shop isn't exactly a location that you could purchase, nor does it make money by itself. But no, the Freak Shop is just going to be a large industrial warehouse that's home to a gang of reprobates known as the Fooligans. And you meet these guys for the first time during the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC missions, and there are 11 of these story missions in total, split into 2 phases, First Dose and Last Dose. Now, if you complete all First Dose missions, you get a free Brigade 6x6, and you also get the Acid Lab, which is going to be one of the most solo-friendly businesses in the entire game here. But wait, don't spend $750,000 to set it up just yet, because without the equipment upgrades, acid production is going to be quite sluggish. To unlock these upgrades, you'll have to do all 5 Last Dose missions as well as 10 Fooligan missions from Dax. It's worth it because you get a free Ocelot Virtue supercar, and the money you make from these missions is enough to cover the cost of the equipment upgrade, meaning you get a brand new business practically for free. It takes around 3 hours to fill up a bar of stock, and each cell mission is worth $351,000, so you make about $100,000 per hour. Plus, if you do it in a public lobby, there's a high demand bonus that scales up depending on how populated that server is, so you can make up to an extra 50% profit that way, but it's also going to be riskier with the extra players. Overall, I'd say the Freak Shop and the Acid Lab are easily the highest value for money investments that you can make, because once you factor in money that you make from the story missions and the fact that you're getting 2 excellent vehicles for free, the only thing you're investing is a bit of your time, and in return, you get a solo-friendly business that you can manage entirely from your phone, a business that's guaranteed to make you several $1,000,000 over the course of your playtime in GTA Online. And there it is for this video, guys, my top 10 money-making investments in GTA Online. I'd love to know which one of these that you think provides the best return on investment, and how many of these do you personally own? I'm super curious, so please let me know in the comments, and also if I missed out on any of your favorites or ones that you think should be included on this list, feel free to tell me about them. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Make sure to check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at HazardousHDTV. All of my social medias can be found in the description down below. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos.